Hi, I'm Nelson, and this is the Sir Nelson English School. In this school, we help you to improve your reading, writing, speaking, and listening. We also help you to pass the IELTS test. In this particular video, we are going to look at the perfect modals. What are perfect modals? These are words like may have, might have, could have, must have. In another video, I taught you about should have. I taught you how to use the perfect modal should have. What are these and how do we use them? In this video, we are going to practice. At the end of the video, you should have enough confidence to use these perfect modals. I want you to notice that all of them end in have. Why do we call them perfect modals? Because they use the past participle. All these perfect modals are followed by a past participle. For example,
Page 20. She might have gone to the bank. Listen to the model.
I wonder why Sheila hasn't come back from lunch yet.
I'm not sure. She might have gone to the bank.
Maybe you're right.
might have, may have gone. The word gone is the past
Listen
participle
again.
of the word go.
I wonder why Sheila hasn't come back from lunch yet.
I'm not sure. She may have gone to the bank.
Maybe you're right.
Might have, may have. They have exactly the same meaning. This is why we put two options. You can choose might or may. And remember, after have, we use the past participle. Now let us follow the model and we practice.
Do exercises 1 through 4. Use might have in your answer. You will hear the correct line after you speak. We'll begin. 1.
I wonder why Bob was late for the meeting.
I'm not sure. He might have gotten stuck in traffic.
Maybe you're right.
2.
I wonder why Professor Jones didn't come to class yesterday.
I'm not sure. She might have been sick.
Maybe you're right.
Remember to write some of these ones, at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You write in your book for practice purposes.
3.
I wonder why Mr. and Mrs. Lane didn't come to our party.
I'm not sure. They might have forgotten about it.
Maybe you're right.
4.
I wonder why Jimmy was late for school this morning.
I'm not sure. He might have missed the bus.
Maybe you're right.
Do exercises 5 through 8. Use may have in your answer. You will hear the correct line after you speak. We'll begin. 5.
I wonder why Peggy didn't want to go to the play with us.
I'm not sure. She may have seen it already.
Maybe you're right.
6.
I wonder why the neighbors haven't returned our ladder.
I'm not sure. They may have broken it.
Maybe you're right.
7.
I wonder why Dad left the rock concert early.
I'm not sure. He may have had a headache.
Maybe you're right.
8.
I wonder why Grandma and Grandpa aren't answering their phone.
I'm not sure. They may have gone away for the weekend.
Maybe you're right.
Page 21. George hasn't come to English class. Listen.
George hasn't come to English class this evening, and all the students in the class are wondering why. Henry thinks he might have gotten sick. Linda thinks he might have had a doctor's appointment. Mr. and Mrs. Kim think that one of George's children may have caught a bad cold. Carla thinks he may have had to work overtime. Mr. and Mrs. Sato think he might have gone to the airport to meet his relatives who are arriving from overseas. And Maria thinks he may have decided to study in another school. All the students are curious about why George hasn't come to English class this evening, and they're a little concerned.
Follow the model and write in your book.
Page 22. He could have gotten lost. Listen to the model.
If you ask me, Jack shouldn't have gone hiking by himself in the mountains.
You're right. He could have gotten lost.
We have looked at might have and may have. Now let's go to another model, could have. Could have is followed by the past participle. The past participle of get is gotten. Follow the model and practice.
Do exercises 1 through 8. You will hear the correct line after you speak. 1. We'll begin.
If you ask me, Gloria shouldn't have swum to the other side of the lake.
You're right. She could have drowned.
2. We'll begin.
If you ask me, Billy shouldn't have played baseball in the rain.
You're right. He could have caught a bad cold.
3. We'll begin.
If you ask me, Anne shouldn't have ridden her bicycle downtown during rush hour.
You're right. She could have gotten hurt.
4. We'll begin.
If you ask me, Jim shouldn't have moved his piano by himself.
You're right. He could have broken his back.
5. We'll begin.
If you ask me, Jenny shouldn't have used her computer during a thunderstorm.
You're right. She could have been electrocuted.
6. We'll begin.
If you ask me, your friends shouldn't have gone skating on the town pond.
You're right. They could have fallen through the ice.
7. You begin.
If you ask me, Grandpa shouldn't have shoveled all the snow in the driveway.
You're right. He could have had a heart attack.
8. You begin.
If you ask me, Dad shouldn't have argued with a police officer.
You're right. He could have wound up in jail.
Page 23. He must have overslept. Listen to the model.
Richard came to work late today.
I'm really surprised to hear that. He never comes to work late.
I know. He must have overslept.
You're probably right.
Let's go to the last perfect modal, must have. Listen again to the model, follow the model, and do the following exercises.
Do exercises 1 through 8. You will hear the correct line after you speak. You begin. 1.
Maria missed English class all last week.
I'm really surprised to hear that. She never misses English class.
I know. She must have been very sick.
You're probably right.
2.
Gary skipped dessert at the restaurant today.
I'm really surprised to hear that. He never skips dessert.
I know. He must have gone on a diet.
You're probably right.
3.
Mrs. Grimsley smiled at her employees this morning.
I'm really surprised to hear that. She never smiles at her employees.
I know. She must have been in a very good mood.
You're probably right.
4.
Peter handed in his homework late this morning.
I'm really surprised to hear that. He never hands in his homework late.
I know. He must have had a problem with his computer.
You're probably right.
5.
Beverly yelled at me this morning.
I'm really surprised to hear that. She never yells at you.
I know. She must have been very upset.
You're probably right.
6.
Walter was in a terrible mood today.
I'm really surprised to hear that. He's never in a terrible mood.
I know. He must have gotten up on the wrong side of the bed.
You're probably right.
7.
You talked in your sleep last night.
I'm really surprised to hear that. I never talk in my sleep.
I know. You must have had a bad dream.
You're probably right.
8.
Rover refused to eat his dinner.
I'm really surprised to hear that. He never refuses to eat his dinner.
I know. He must have eaten too many dog biscuits during the day.
You're probably right.